KPM.
Miss Sim.
Yes,
Miss
yes.
Sim.
Who is calling me?
It's me, Sean.
Sean, where are you, Sean?
I'm over here. Oh,
Sean,
where are
you okay?
I don't know why, but I can't see you. It's just
Yeah,
so
I can't see you as
hazy.
well, right.
Why is it so hazy?
I don't know, is our air being polluted again?
There must be some way to reduce or eliminate this pollution.
Yeah? Let's figure it out.
All right, but first I have to find you.
Yeah,
Miss
sure,
Sim, are you there?
Sure. Here, I'm here.
Here? Where?
Here, over here.
Hello everyone, you are now watching Upper Form on Didik TV KPM together with me, Sean Steven, as your host. And for today, our lesson is in English together with Miss Sim. Hi Miss Sim.
Hi, Sean.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Yeah, aside from the hazy weather obviously,
Right.
but first we'll also like to introduce our sign language interpreter, and that is none other than Miss Cathy. Hi Miss Cathy. How are you doing today? Excellent. Now back to Miss Sim. Miss Sim, I believe that we also have a few students that are joining us online as well, right?
Yeah.
Let's see who they are. Hi everyone.
Hi,
There
guys.
we go. Could you kindly introduce them to all of us?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's start from Yilin. Yilin, can you wave to them?
Hi.
Hi. All right. Then we have Gan Kianlong. Kianlong? Yeah. Right, and we have Jiaxuan. Jiaxuan,
Hello.
yes. And we have Jen Hong. Jen Hong, say hi. Yeah.
I have a very important question for you. Are you ready for our lesson for today? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Double thumbs up. There we go. Looks like they are all ready.
Yeah,
but I
right,
have to also ask you, Miss Sim, what
Mm-hmm.
exactly are we learning today?
All right, so today we actually are going to compare two different pictures, and we are going to express our opinions on the common issue, which is today we are going to talk about air pollution.
All right. So, shall we begin?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go.
All right, okay. So, like I said, the screen is not on. The screen is not on, I cannot see. Right.
Okay.
So, can continue or what?
Nak terus continue boleh ke? Cikgu terus continue. Okay.
All right, okay. So today we're going to talk about air pollutions, right? And it is actually in our English language form 4, and we are going to target speaking skill today. All right.
Okay.
So let's see. So if you have your textbook with you, right, you can refer to Form 4 textbook, which is Full Blast Plus 4, and we are going to focus on Unit 7, which is Mother Nature, and you can turn to page 107 if you would like to know what are we going to have later on. Okay, so for our learning objective today, what we are going to learn, first we are going to use appropriate formal register to describe two different pictures. So later I'm going to show you two different pictures. You are going to learn how to use some of the formal register to describe them. And I will tell you more about formal register later.
All right.
And for the second objective that we are going to learn how to give personal opinions on the common issue, and today we are going to use air pollution as our issue by providing strong supporting details, which means when you give your opinions, you have to explain why you have such opinions. Right? So let's move on. So for our content today, first we are going to talk about urban and rural.
Okay.
Then we are going to talk about two different pictures. We are going to compare them. And the third one, we are going to talk about cause and effect. And the last one, we will talk about what can we do to solve a common issue.
Okay.
All right. So this is our warm-up activity. Like I said just now, the first part, we are going to talk about urban and rural areas. So
Okay.
what is urban and what is rural? Like some of my pupils, they don't understand the meanings of these words. Yeah. So for urbans, which means, okay, like big cities or towns where those places are quite developed. Whereas if we are talking about rural area, which means it's underdeveloped areas such as villages or the countryside. So it is a huge difference between them.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk a little bit, because this is just a warm-up, to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of living in an urban area compared to living in a rural area.
All right.
So for those who are sitting in front of the televisions, if you are watching our program today, so maybe you can think about this in your mind, like what are the advantages or the disadvantages of living in an urban area compared to a rural area. And we also ask our pupils here in the meet to express their opinions on this topic.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe you can invite them right now. So any one of you would like to try on this first?
Yes, who would like to try?
Jashin? Yeah, I can see that Jashin is raising up her hands. Okay, Jashin, so what is your opinion on this?
In my opinion, one of the advantages of living in an urban area is that the transportation system is highly developed and it often receives regular funding and update. It allows us to get from place to place faster and easier. Besides, we can save our money and time by using public transportation in this urban area.
All right, okay, she talks about the transportations in the urban area, right? Okay, how about another pupils who would like to try on this? Eileen? Okay, let's see what Eileen would like to say.
From my point of view, one of the advantages of living in an urban area is that there are more job opportunity awaiting you in a city compared to a countryside or village. What's more is that you will find a wide variety of opportunity as well besides career. For example, easy access to education institutions and service center.
Okay, so she talks about job opportunities that we can find in urban. So both of them mentioned about the advantages of living in an urban area.
Yes.
How about the disadvantages, right? So we'd like to hear those opinions from the boys as well, right? So maybe the boys can try on the disadvantages of living in an urban area. Anyone would like to try first? Kian-Long. Okay, Kian-Long.
Well, from my perspective, living in urban areas also has its downsides. For instance, busy towns or cities can be crowded at times. Traffic jams will be a pain in the neck after working hours.
Oh, yes.
Besides, you may also not be able to form such tight-knit communities if compared to the people who live in rural areas.
All right, so he mentions about the crowded areas or traffic jams, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, how about Jian-Hong? What is your opinion?
Okay, so in my opinion, living in an urban sprawl can be a very hectic lifestyle, with time equals money as the golden rule. Compared to a rural lifestyle where you can go at your own pace, urban life is a lot more stressful and chaotic, leading to the damage of not just one's physical health, but also their mental health.
So he mentioned about the hectic lifestyle there.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I totally agree with him.
So what do you think about all the answers from our students? How
Yeah,
would
I
you...
think they have answered it greatly because they mentions about the disadvantages and also advantages, and they also give some examples like what are those and what is their opinions on this. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
well done
you have done
everyone.
great
Right
job.
now, I think everyone deserves a short break. Let's take a short break. Back to you after this on Upper Form on Didik TV KPM.
Didik TV KPM.
Hello everyone, you are now watching Upper Form on Didik TV KPM together with me, Sean Steven, and also Miss Sim for our subject English Form 4. So get your textbooks ready, full blast plus 4. Alright, so Miss Sim, shall we continue?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay, so now move on to our second activity. So we are going to learn how to compare and contrast two different pictures. So as you can see here, this is also one of the tasks in your textbook, which is on page 107. Okay, so if you look at this task, it say they would like you to compare the two pictures below, which is I already labeled it as picture A, okay, and also picture B. Okay, so before we continue with the task, maybe I can ask my pupils here, what can you see in picture A and picture B before we compare them? Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we would like to ask any one of you would like to talk about picture A. What did you see in picture A just now? Okay. Anyone would like to try this? Picture A, Eileen. Okay, Eileen. What can you see from this picture?
I can see a woman is wearing a mask and she seems unhappy.
All right. Okay. A woman is wearing a face mask and she seems unhappy, right? Okay. How about another pupils would like to try? Kianlong. Okay. What else?
There are many vehicles and people at the background with some buildings around.
Okay. So in the background we can see that there's some vehicles, buildings, right? Yeah. Okay. How about picture B, guys? Anyone? Jianhong. Okay, Jianhong. What can you see in picture B?
From what I can gather, I can see blue skies, green fields, and a man that is embracing Mother Nature.
Okay,
Yeah.
blue sky, green fields. Okay, how about another pupils, like the last pupils? Jashin, okay.
I can see the man is opening his arm and enjoying the nature.
Yeah, right. As in, this guy is like enjoying himself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So when we talk about this, first we have to identify what are they in the pictures. Okay. So when we compare these two pictures, okay, in your textbook, you also have some ideas given and also some words and phrases in the box, which I will show you in the next slide. Okay, so these are from the textbook. You can see that the ideas that you can use to compare the two pictures. For example, talk about the places, is it in the urban or rural area? And you can talk about the atmosphere of the place and how the people feel in that picture, people's lifestyle, and maybe it affects the people's health or things like that. All right, and also, okay, these are the words given by a textbook. You can also use it in your speaking when you are trying to express your opinions. For example, you talk about urban, rural, right? Just now I've explained. And also you can say whether it is close to nature, is affected or not affected by the development, lack of something maybe, or the smoke, yeah, which is the haze or the smoke, okay, and whether the peoples there they can breathe fresh air or not. And you can also mention about the poisonous chemicals maybe, or whether the peoples in there is happy or unhappy, peaceful lifestyle or not, or hectic means like very busy in a fast pace, right? Or you can talk about harmful to their health, or like is it dangerous for them, which can cause diseases, or is it good for them because they can grow their own organic food. Okay, so those are the ideas provided for you to express your opinions.
Okay.
Right? So when you want to express your opinions on these two pictures, because we are talking about a common issue or maybe it is a serious issue, so we have to use formal register. So what is formal register first? So formal register is actually kind of like a formal type of language that we would like to show the importance of the seriousness of our topic. So when we use these formal registers, actually it refers to the formal tones that we are using, the formal words, or we use the full sentences to show that these things is an important matter or official one, or we want to discuss, like I say, a serious issue, or we would like to talk about business, or we are in a debate, a formal debate.
Yep.
And mostly we will use formal register in our education as well. So for example, like when the teacher is teaching in class, we will use formal tone
Yeah.
instead of informal one. Yep. So what you should avoid when you are using formal registers. So first, okay, you should avoid using slang.
Okay.
The second one is contraction. Third one, abbreviation. And number fourth is informal tone. These are just a few examples that I showed to you. Actually, there are tons of it. Okay, so let's go and see what is slang first. So, you know, like Malaysia, like sometimes we have this slang, you know, like la, meh. Like my students always say, yeah, right, okay, a lot of these kind of sound and zoom or something like that. Okay, so you need to avoid this kind of slang.
Okay.
And then for the contractions, for example, like didn't, isn't, shouldn't, or sometimes like the informal, like in the spoken language, like gonna, like that. So we should avoid that because we are in a formal matter, right?
Yes.
We are talking about a serious issue or something like that. So to show we are like quite professional in talking about this.
Okay.
So abbreviations mean like the short forms, you know, like BRB, SYS, ASAP. So maybe I would like to ask my pupils here, do you know what is BRB, SYS, ASAP? Okay, so anyone would like to try on this BRB? What is this? Anyone? Okay, Yilin, let's see whether she get it correct or not. What is BRB, Yilin?
Be right back.
Yeah, right. Be right back. Okay, thank you. How about SYS? Anyone would like to try? It's not SOS, but SYS. Yeah, Jashin. Okay, Jashin is okay. What is SYS?
See you soon.
See you soon. Yeah, see you
yes.
soon, right? Okay, and the most common one, ASAP. Some people will say ASAP, right?
Oh.
So what is ASAP? Anyone would like to try? The boys? Jianhong? Okay, Jianhong, what is ASAP?
As soon as possible.
Yeah, thank you. Right, as soon as possible. So when you try to mention about an issue, okay, you cannot just say like, oh, ASAP or SYS, because some people, they may not know what is that, right? So you need to say it clearly, all right? So of course, like be right back, all these things is quite informal as well. So we have to avoid it.
Yes.
Right. And then informal tones, like for example, people say, oh my God, dear, like, or you can say, bro, like, what is this? So we need to avoid this kind of informal tone. Yeah, make sure you need to use a formal tone. Okay. So, for examples, all right. So for example, how are you going to use a formal ones? Yeah, you know, like what I say just now, as long as it's in the full sentences, as long as you avoid those informal tones and things like that, there are ways to help you, okay, to get the right tone. For example, you can use those cohesive devices, like how to begin your sentence. You can say first and foremost when you want to talk about your first point.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you want to express your opinions, you can say in my opinions. You can also say that, oh, one of the differences between these two places is, and then what is that? Yeah. And you can also say from my point of view or from my perspective to begin your sentence if you would like to express your opinions, right?
Yeah.
So to continue with your sentence, let's say if you have more than one point, right, one main point, you would like to express more, then you can say besides, okay, moreover, or you can say secondly, my second point is, or you can talk about not only that, other than that, or you can say another huge difference is, and then you continue with your point. Or you can, if you would like to express an opposite idea, okay, to contrast with your previous idea, you can say that on the other hand, all right, and then you talk about another one, right? So to end your sentence or to end your point, let's say you have the final point, right? You can say last but not least, lastly, or you can say as you can see, right, living in an urban area is, okay? Or you can say like my final point is, or you can say to conclude, or in conclusions, then you continue with your last point. Yeah? So those are the examples that you can use. All right, now let's get back to these stars. So in your textbook, it says that talk in pairs. So I will group my pupils here into pairs as well. So I will let 2 boys into one group and 2 girls into one group. So they are going to discuss about the differences between these 2 pictures, picture A and picture B. Shall we start now?
All right.
Yeah. So maybe we'll let the boys to start first. Okay, boys, you may start now.
Okay, so I'll start the discussion. Kinlong, what do you think the difference between picture A and picture B are?
Well, in picture A, the woman looks gloomy. It feels like something's bothering her. In the meantime, the man in picture B looks untroubled. He looks like he's enjoying the time of his life. What do you think?
Of course, from what I can gather, the atmosphere of the two pictures are a stark contrast to each other. I can feel that in picture A, it's suffocating and depressing, while in picture B, it's more vibrant and alive. Do you agree with this?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, okay, so both of them, they're talking about how the people feel there and the atmosphere in that. Yeah, sure. And how about the girls? Yeah, maybe we'll move on to the second group. All right, who would like to start first? Okay, Eileen.
Hi, Jashan. Do you see any differences between these two pictures?
Yes, based on my observation on picture A, I found that many people are crowded on the road and they look stressed and they're rushing with time. However, for picture B, the man is relaxing and enjoying the refreshing air in such a rural area. What do you think, Eileen?
From picture above, I realized that the air in picture A seems polluted and it may cause some harmful disease to the resident. On the other hand, in picture B, the air is seem like not affected by the development, which means who live there can breathe fresh air every day. Do you agree with me, Jashan?
Yes, I see eye to eye with you.
All right, okay, so they talked about air pollution, right? They say like in picture A, the air is being polluted, and in picture B, it seems like the air is fresh, okay? So yeah, great. I think they have done a great job in comparing these two pictures and also telling us about all the ideas that mentions maybe how they feel, the atmosphere, right?
Yes?
Yeah.
All right, I think so too. And right now we're going to take a short break. Back to you after this on Outperform on Didik TV KPM.
Didik TV KPM.
Hello there! You're now watching Outperform on Didik TV KPM together with me, Sean Stephen, and also Miss Sim as well as Miss Kathy as the sign language interpreter. And our lesson, of course, is English Form 4, where we are talking about air pollution, right?
Yeah, right.
Alright, so shall we continue?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so just now we have a guided practice. Now let's look at this, okay? This will be an individual task where you will learn how to express your opinions by yourself, okay? We are going to talk about the causes and effects of air pollution. So remember those formal registers I mentioned just now and also some of the words that you may use, okay? So I would like my pupils here in the meet to talk about the causes and effects of air pollution as well. So let's listen to them. Yeah? So who would like to start first on this? Anyone? Okay, Jian Hong, yes. It's your turn now.
So first and foremost, when looking into the matter of air pollution, a main culprit is of course fossil fuels. Its effects on our atmosphere has been quite alarming, with carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide being two of the big byproducts of the burning of fossil fuels. One is dangerous to human health, while the other contributes to worsening greenhouse effect, which eventually will lead to global warming.
All right, so he mentions about like the burning of fossil fuels, which leads to greenhouse effects and
Yes.
global warming, right?
Yes.
Okay, how about another pupils? Let's hear from Jashan. Yes.
Well, for me, human activities in our cities sometimes affect the air quality as well. The air pollution has been a major concern around the world, as it has a serious impact on our health. It will lead to a serious cardiovascular disease such as lung cancer.
All right, that's it? Okay, so I think she mentions about the human activities, maybe like open burning, things like that, okay? So she also mentions about the effect, which is bad to our health, right? It can cause lung cancer, right, if it goes to an extent. All right, So how about we listen to another pupils? Yeah, anyone here? Okay, Kian Long.
Well, in this modern era, the usage of fossil fuels and in factories increases rapidly day by day in urban areas. However, due to the lack of responsibility of factory owners, they tend to dispose their chemical waste, especially poisonous gases, without any precautions. This reckless action has caused a huge impact on the quality of air.
Okay.
All right, okay. So he mentions about the fossil fuels as well, but this time he mentions about from the factories, right? Yeah, okay, the effects, maybe it affects the quality of the air. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, how about another one? Right, we still have one more. Okay, Eileen.
Undeniably, air pollution brings a variety of pernicious effects to the environment. For instance, the emissions of gas from an air conditioner to the atmosphere will damage the ozone layer and cause global warming. This is a serious problem as it is irreversible.
All right, I see. What she means is about people using too many air conditioners, and it affects the ozone layer, and also leads to this the effects for our air pollution, right? Okay. So now let's move on to see what are those possible causes of air pollution. Like just now we have heard from my pupils, right? The mentions about some of the causes of air pollution. So in your speaking, if you would like to talk about the causes of air pollution, so these may be the points that you can use for your speaking practice, okay? So let's see. All right, so first one, we talk about the human activities, right? So we talk about some of the irresponsible citizens, right? They tend to have open burnings, right? So yeah, it may be one of the cause for our air pollutions. Is there anyone here, my pupils here, would like to give more example, explain a little bit more about open burning? Anyone? Okay, Kian Long. What do you think of this point?
Open burning has become one of the causes of air pollution. This is because people are getting lazier day by day. In their opinion, proper waste disposal is very troublesome as it takes a lot of time. They tend to find the easiest ways to dispose waste, which is open burning.
Okay, I see, right? So he mentions that maybe people get lazier and they just find the easiest way, right? To get rid of maybe their rubbish or anything else. So they just burn it. Okay, yeah. Then we have this second point, yeah, where you can talk about the emission gases, you know, from our vehicles, yeah, from the cars. So this is also one of the common issues, right, for the causes of our air pollutions, yeah? And then we have this high density of human populations. So if we have the high density of human populations, then we tend to use more air conditioners. So maybe we have more cars on the road, yeah? So this will lead to air pollution as well. Okay, so next is about toxic gases from factories or construction sites. You know, you never know what kind of gases, right? The emissions from the factories, right?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so yeah, those are the possible causes. Now we talk about the possible effects of air pollutions, right? Okay, so for the possible effects of air pollutions, yeah, the first one. Okay, we may have a higher risk of respiratory diseases. For example, like just now, our pupils here mentions about lung cancer, right? It may also affect our heart or lung, so we may have heart failure as well. Yeah, so it is quite risky, especially for our respiratory system, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have this affecting human lifestyle because of the low visibility when we have like the air being polluted, so we have haze, then you cannot see very well, right? So the low visibility also affects our daily activities because you couldn't see very well, so you cannot carry out a lot of outdoor activities. That's right? True. And sometimes the air is very harmful to our health as well. So it will affect our activities daily. Yeah. Okay, then we have this ecological imbalance. But for this one, I would like my pupils here to explain a little bit more. Okay. So, any one of you would like to try on this point? Jian-Hong? All right, okay, Jian-Hong.
Okay, so from my knowledge, the ecological imbalance that air pollution brings is from the buildup of smog which blocks out sunlight from plants to undergo photosynthesis. This can decrease the quality of air overall and disrupt the ecosystem.
Yeah, so maybe affecting the photosynthesis of the plants, can sometimes it block the sunlight from coming in. So when it affects the plants, it would indirectly affects the animals, then it will affect the whole ecosystem.
That's true.
Yeah, right, that's true. So he gets it correctly. Okay, then we have the last one, the greenhouse effect that leads to global warming, right? We also mentioned it previously. So this greenhouse effect is actually quite dangerous as well because it traps all the heats, right? When we have this smog, right, or the haze there, and it also brings up to the global warming where the temperature will goes up. Yeah, so it is very dangerous to every human beings or any living things. Yeah,
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and with the information that Miss Sim has shared with us, hopefully you can use this as your practice for the speaking lesson. Speaking exercises. And right now we're going to take a short break. Back to you after this on Upper Form on Didik TV KPM.
KPM.
And we are back. You are now watching Upper Form on Didik TV KPM. Our lesson for today is in English Form 4 together with Miss Sim. Alright, Miss Sim, shall we continue?
Yeah, sure.
All
Okay. So let's move on. Okay, so if you can see here, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So just now we mentioned about the causes and effects of air pollutions. So now we have to talk about what are the measures or some solutions that can help us to cope with these air pollutions. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, so I would like to ask my pupils here again, the same thing. Okay, so what can we do? So maybe they can have some instincts, so they can have some insights, they can have their opinions to express. Okay, so we would like to know what do they think, like what can we do in order to cope with these air pollutions? Maybe we start with Eileen first.
Okay.
Eileen?
Okay, from my point of view, citizens play a crucial role to reduce air pollution. Third, citizens are encouraged to carpool in order to reduce the number of transportations on the routes. Not only that, it can reduce the traffic jam too. The carbon monoxide produced by car can also be reduced. It seems like killing two birds with one stone.
Okay, so she mentioned about carpooling, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, good. All right. How about Jiaxuan next?
So from my point of view, the citizen must be responsible for the air pollution. The citizens can plant and grow as many trees as possible. The tree can help in removing carbon dioxide and reduce the greenhouse effect, as well provide us clean air to breathe. The increasing number of trees in an urban area is the essential to improve the air quality.
All right, cool. I like this idea, yeah, to plant more trees, especially in the urban area. Yeah. Right. Okay, how about Jian Hong? What do you think?
In my humble opinion, while I do agree with the notion that an individual should be responsible for the quality of air we breathe, the factory owners need not forget their responsibilities as well in preventing air pollution. The emissions and carbon footprint are leaps and bounds ahead of any normal person, yet they face minimal repercussions for this. Governments should enforce the law so those companies and their factories will substitute non-renewables with more sustainable energy, or else they will be fined or have the risk of their factories being shut down.
All right, I see. It come like a serious issue. Like, so for the factories owners, so the government should enforce the law and they should change their way, like to substitute the non-renewable to a sustainable energy, like what he say. Yeah. Okay. How about Kian Long?
Well, in my opinion, factory owners should take more responsibility when it comes to solving this problem. They should focus more on using renewable energy such as solar, as it's eco-friendly and there's no limit to using it. Fossil fuels will be gone for good eventually if we keep using them too much. Besides, factories should have a proper hazardous waste disposal system to prevent the residents living near the factories becoming the next victim.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So Ken Long mentions about we cannot just rely on the fossil fuels, yeah, and then somewhat it may if those factories they do not handle their waste properly, so it may affect the health of the living lifestyle of the residents nearby. Yeah?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So not only the individual, like the authorities, they also have to take part on this. Yeah, they have to have their responsibilities. They have their duties to cope with this issue as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's recap, right? Let's go back to our formal registers. When we talk about a serious issues, when we talk about a common issue, we need to use formal registers in our sentences, like what they have mentioned just now as well. They use full sentences. They use those cohesive devices to guide them. Yeah, first and foremost, however, Okay, so formal register is very important to talk about important or official matters, discussions of a serious issue or any issues maybe, and talk about the business, debate, or in educations, right? Okay, and then we have to avoid using slang, right? Contractions, abbreviations, and informal tones. For example, okay, I've shown you just now, we have all this. Yeah, I'm going to show you again, right, to recap. Okay. Then next, those examples that we can use in our sentences, remember? Alright, to begin our sentence, to continue our sentence, or to end our sentence. So you can use first and foremost, okay? My first point is, alright, you can use the second point or secondly. You can also mention besides, but remember, you don't need to say besides that. You just use besides enough.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. To end your maybe your ideas. Yeah. Maybe you can say for your last point, right? You can conclude it, but instead of saying conclusion, because some of my pupils they will like to say conclusions, but actually you have to say in conclusion. You don't miss out in. Yeah.
Yes.
Or you can say to conclude. Yeah. Not just conclude. No. All right. Okay. So to end your point there. All right, okay, so now let's go to the summary. So what have we learned today? Remember, we learned how to differentiate between these two pictures, how to describe them, and we also learned how to use formal register to give our idea and opinions, and we also learned how to provide supporting details to support our ideas.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to use appropriate formal registers to talk about a serious issue. Like here, we're talking about air pollution, so we must use formal registers, right?
Yeah.
And for the second point, we always provide explanations for our opinions or for our so that other people will trust us, or at least we can persuade them, all right, tends to cite us. Like, okay, when we give our opinions, our explanations, all right, so people will tend to, I agree with you, right? Okay. So, and then for the last part, when comparing two different things, right, like just now, two different pictures, we always look for similarities or differences between them, or we can also target on the pros and cons, like just now, the first activity, the warm-up activity, right? We talk about the pros and cons of living in an urban area.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you so much for that summary. But we would also like to know how were the students, or what were their overall performance like throughout this entire lesson?
I see that they all use the formal register. They do not use slang, or they do not use any abbreviations here.
Yep.
Yeah, their tone is like quite formal, I
Okay.
can say. It's quite good. And then the sentences that they use are full sentences, and they do not have any hanging sentences there.
Yep.
So I think all of them have done a great job.
All right, well
Yeah.
done, everyone. And for those of you who are watching at home or who are currently online and you'd like to get some enhancement exercises or materials for this lesson, where can I get it from?
Yeah, so if you would like to get more sources for this, you can actually visit the Dilemma portal.
All
Yeah, we
right.
have that.
Thank you once again, Miss Sim, for our lesson
All right.
for today, and thank you to Miss Kathy as our sign language interpreter, as well as our pupils who are online right now. Thank you so much for joining us, and for those of you watching at home, hopefully this has been beneficial to all of you. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in our next class. Bye!
Bye.